Hi guys, and welcome back to SwitchUp. Thanks to the developers for the review copy. The world really doesn't want me to have a day off, does it? Just when you get your Hellblade and your Katana 0 reviews finished, a little gem like Hell is Other Demons pops into your inbox and you foolishly give it a try. An hour later and you realise you have to tell the SwitchUp family all about it, because it's so bloody unique. Those bright neon colours and mechanics from around 3 different genres, and you can count me intrigued, good sirs. But is this all colour, but actually a black and white experience? Let's find out. Story is super limited. You're a demon who wants to travel through hell, dominating all the other demons and beasties. Gameplay is king with this one. It describes itself as a bullet hell platformer with chunky pixels. It certainly is all of those things. In campaign mode, you begin on an overworld map that shows your current position and a choice of levels to advance through. Each stage has 3 special criteria which will gain you some extra reward, but are super tricky on top of the already extreme challenge offered, such as completing a stage by not using a special weapon or without taking any damage. Each one is a small area with several platforms and other environmental hazards thrown at you. Then there are the other demons we spoke about. These spawn into the area in waves, which is shown at the top of the screen where your current progress is also shown. RZ shoots while you can jump, double jump, dash and glide with Y and B. It takes a while to really get to grips with these controls, and the inclusion of a stomp move to Mario your enemies into oblivion is a nice little touch. Much like Glen's Cuphead review, each stage will ask a lot from the player but never feels unfair. In many ways, the controls here are superior due to the inclusion of the much needed double jump, and by holding that you can slow your descent with a glide to the floor. You'll end up stringing several attack, stomp and dash moves to keep yourself floating off the ground. For the first few rounds I was longing for twin stick controls, but you soon learn to handle it like a pro, dashing away from enemies and whipping round to shoot them in the face. Your lives are shown up there. Lose them all and it's game over to restart from the beginning of that level. However, enemies drop the occasional health and special weapon pickups. This will clear all in its path if used. Through the carnage, you'll notice a ton of credits or coins or gold or whatever that is falling on the floor. We just know it's good. Grabbing this before it disappears is essential as you use it in the shop to buy upgrades. Some stages are an endless wave setup with an online global leaderboard for bragging rights. But I warn you, make sure you have a good score before uploading yours thinking you're the champion of the world, because you probably aren't. Between stages, you find the occasional shop selling a variety of weapons, upgrades and buffs. You can only equip so many to begin with, but can unlock or upgrade your space to allow you to equip more. Boss fights are a brutal nightmare with a good deal of goat thrown in for good measure. These are also wave-based and take on a few different forms. So there you have it. The gameplay is incredibly addictive and rewarding. Combining different upgrades and weapons with synergies in unique ways is great, and you can grind out some cash on previous stages to improve your build in the shops to make those tougher encounters more manageable. Gameplay scores 16 out of 20 and the controls are super tight. They score 17 out of 20, but you will sometimes forget where certain buttons are, and intrinsically this type of game carries a lot of frustration and repetition. It was actually the art that caught my eye first with Hell is Other Demons. It's bright, vibrant and bold in the best way. A very simple chunky pixel approach for each area gives them a unique but familiar aesthetic. I guess the audio can be described as functional. Music's great and pumps away during the gameplay, and the sound effects are all kinds of retro charming. You know how Blaster Master looks pretty basic, but everything works so well within its world. That's how I feel about this one. Some wouldn't take 2 looks at this. but it all just works. The simplicity of the visuals is actually beneficial to gameplay as there's so much going on screen. Having an essentially monochromatic approach with only black and a color helps your brain to keep track of everything. Audio scores 14 out of 20, and the visuals, well, I like the art style a lot, but I can totally see why some people wouldn't. It scores 14 out of 20. The game costs £8.99, $9.99 or €9.99. It's a decent price, I'd say. The game is definitely super addictive and will make our next addictive list for sure. Moreover, it is very rewarding and also includes an arcade mode on top of the large campaign. I won't pretend that I've completed it, as I am no way near good enough to do that in the time I've had. There is an unlimited procedurally generated mode, as well as some online leaderboards and a ton of replayability to unlock the max for each stage. I'm almost certain you'll enjoy this game a lot, and to be honest, I'm equally certain that it won't get the attention it deserves. Value scores 15 out of 20. A great mishmash of genres has really paid off here. It can be frustrating but not unfair. It's a certain style of game and very addictive. The upgrades and synergies between these is what elevates it though. It scores for me a SwitchUp score of 76%. It's well worth your time if you fancy something a bit left field and have any money left over whatsoever in April. I don't know who does, to be fair. If it pops up on sale, then snap it up for sure though. Thanks as always to the developers for providing the review copy, and for all things Switch all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!